A and Arsenal, James. Stuttgart in talks with Arsenal over the signing of their midfielder Fabio Vieira.
Aston Villa. Them, James, they've already been busy. Might not be done yet. What's happening now with Eberechi Eze? Where are we at with this one?
Yeah, look, first of all, Arsenal, yes, as you mentioned, busy in the market so far. 6 players already they've brought in. Victor Gyökeres, the latest of which joining the likes of Martin Zubimendi, Christian Norgard, Christian Mosquera, Kepa Arrizabalaga, Noni Madueke. Outgoing's probably going to be the focus, but there is still interest in Eberechi Eze of Crystal Palace. 27-year-old's got 2 years left of his contract. Has a release clause of around £67 million. Now, Arsenal are in talks with his representatives at this stage, so they've opened dialogue and they understand that the player is keen for the move. He would accept that move, but at the moment, there's no club-to-club contact at present. Arsenal's focus will be on players departing the club, and they're looking like the departure of Reece Nelson to Fulham. That looks like a potential another loan move, but I think Arsenal prefer that to be a permanent deal. Alexander Zinchenko, they're open to offers. Fabio Vieira as well, Albert Sambi, Lokonga. So there's plenty of players that probably need to leave the club first before Arsenal financially can make this deal work. But Eberechi Eze, I mean, for me, I love watching him play. I think he's got so much talent, creativity on that left-hand side, can float inside. I think he offers Arsenal a huge amount of versatility to their play. And the left-hand side of Arsenal's attack has been something they have been looking at improving in this transfer window. They have signed Noni Madueke. He's predominantly on the right, plays on the right side, back up to Saka maybe, can play on the left, but an Eze in that place is pretty exciting for Arsenal
my goodness.
fans. It really is.
Yeah. And Gyökeres to profit from all of that creative service, you would think. Yeah, so Arsenal already big. They could
North
get
London
busier.
And Damesh, Eberechi Eze, I should say, a wanted man by North London.
Certainly is. We brought you the news earlier on this week that Arsenal were exploring the conditions of a deal potentially for Eberechi Eze. They continue to explore those conditions. He is now emerging, we think, as a big target for Arsenal in this transfer window. And we think that's independent of any of their other potential recruitment in the forward areas, be it a striker or a winger or a number 10. Now, I'm also told today that Eberechi Eze would be open to a move to Arsenal. He's an ambitious footballer. He wants to play Champions League football. He's obviously an England international as well. We do know that Tottenham Hotspur have also been interested in Eze during this transfer window, but we think now that they are focusing on other targets for now.
Right.
And so Arsenal, I think, will look at Eze and think, do you know what, he could be perfect for the way we want to play.
Not cheap.
Of course he's not, and it's good that you've mentioned that because it is a release clause situation we've got here. So it's £60 million, we think, which could rise to £68 million. Now, it's easy for a club just to say, yes, we'll meet that release clause. And the selling club, in inverted commas, can't do much about that. But sometimes, even with a release clause, you can have a situation where a club wants to negotiate on that release clause, in which case, in this case, if Arsenal were to do that, they would have to approach Crystal Palace and say, I know the release clause is this much, but we would like to pay this much, and this is how we'd like to pay it. And that's not necessarily to pay less than the release clause, because the 16 plus 8 is something that would almost be guaranteed to Crystal Palace.
Right.
Whereas if Arsenal went in and said, actually, we'd be willing to pay 70 to 75 for argument's sake, and people would say, why would you want to pay more than the release clause? It could be in exchange for favourable payment terms. So it could be the case that the release clause, you need to pay in 3 instalments, for example. But if Arsenal say to Crystal Palace, well, actually, we want to pay you a bit more, but we'll do it in 4 instalments because we know that everyone is looking at their financial fair play and their profit and sustainability rules, and they are done on a 3-year rolling basis. So, look, Arsenal might say, yes, here is the release clause money, we're willing to pay it. Let's discuss this with Eberechi Eze and sort out the personal terms. We're quite a long way from that, admittedly, but it's clear that Eberechi Eze is definitely a player of interest for Arsenal.